It's the annual Ashura procession in central London. Hundreds of Shia Muslims have come from around the UK to commemorate the death of Imam Hussein, who died on the 10th of Muharram in the year 680 in Karbala in Iraq. His death was one of the most important causes of the split that developed between the Sunni and the Shia.
I am born a Shia, and every year we come to mourn the death of Imam Hussein. He was the grandson of the Prophet who stood up for the injustice, and he wanted the whole world to see. And today the whole world are seeing. Every year we have this gathering where people can find out who are the Shias.
Hussein and his followers were massacred. His martyrdom is widely interpreted by Shia as a symbol of the struggle against injustice, tyranny and oppression.
Once a year at least we have to remind ourselves of why Hussein gave his blood away, why this whole tragedy happened, and how far and how extensive and how important humanity is when it comes to everyone and every single one of us. That Imam Hussein, as a leader, as an imam, gave his soul.
We march every year, and every year we will continue, so nobody will forget. We have faith and we will keep following.
We are commemorating the grandson of our Holy Prophet, who died for humanity because he stood up against this tyrant who thought he was the strongest in the world. Now these people, they think they're the strongest in the world. No, God is always stronger than you. His story, it's a very sad story. And that it happened actually, these people, he told them himself, he told them, look, I'm your grandson of your own prophet. I'm your grandson of your own prophet. How can you kill me?
The Shia are keen to distinguish themselves from extremist Sunni Muslim movements like Al-Qaeda and Daesh, also known as Islamic State.
Many people, like in other countries, see the bad part of Islam and the terrorists, like the ones that speak in the name of Islam. But here we try to show them how peaceful is our religion and how peaceful is our Prophet Muhammad.
Some of those marching today are converts.
I'm here to remember Imam Hussein and everything that he stood for and the values that he and all of the followers stood for. And you can't imagine the sacrifices and the things that he did because he knew, he believed it was right. And I think that's very, very important and strong even in today.
I believe we have a personal relationship with the Imam, a spiritual relationship that does transcend the fact that the Imam is no longer among us. I have personally relied on the Imam a lot in times of difficulty in my life.
Ashura processions take place all over the world. The best known is to the holy shrine at Karbala, where Imam Hussein and his half-brother Abbas were buried. Taking part can become extremely emotional.
It's because the history has given us so much details of what happened on that day, on the 10th of Muharram, that most people can actually visualize as they go around from one spot to another, can actually visualize what happened physically in different parts of Karbala and where it took place, where the killing battlefield, where was the river. They were stopped from having access to water for 3 days in the heat of summer.
For some, grief is expressed by flagellating themselves on the back with chains. This is intended to connect them with Hussein's suffering.
we all grieve in different ways. So sometimes people see water and they start crying. And when you ask them, what happened, they say, oh, Karbala. 3 days children were without water. So it can be moving, and people, depending on how emotional they are, they can respond and interact in a variety of methods, which can possibly even lead up to beating their own chest or the head at times too.
In London too, it's an emotional day.
It's very easy to get caught up in the crowd, but for a moment, if you take a minute to think what it really means, yes, it's very emotional. It is looking into your inner self. When you hear about the stories of Ashura, you think about your own family. I think about my own children and how I would feel in that situation, and the strength and the courage that it must have taken him, and how we can use that strength and that inspiration in our lives today.